Hey guys, my name is Ryan Central and welcome back to Anthem. EA and BioWare like to drip feed us information about the game through various outlets. Twitter, their website, that interview a year ago, this live stream 6 months ago, you get the idea. There's a lot of information about certain topics that is scattered out there that people just don't know about. Because why would they? They didn't know that Mac Darrah tweeted about this thing 3 months ago that is really relevant to what you're interested in. So I'm going to set up a series of videos going over big talking points within Anthem that has a lot of little questions answered, and then going over them in a very quick fire fashion. In an effort to keep the pace of the video quite fast and to just save a little bit of time, I'm going to link all of the sources in the description below. It just means that we don't have to go over where every little bit of information came from. But today we're talking about the leveling and gear system. And we'll start with leveling. There's two main levels in this game, the first being your freelancer level. This is your character. This is the character that you customize. You can change their gender, their face, their hair, give them a beard if you wanted to, I think. But this is your character, your overall level. The max level people believe is level 30. This hasn't been confirmed. This was just sourced from the gameplay demo that we saw from EA this year. The characters in there were level 30 and apparently strongholds are endgame content, so that's where the assumption came from. Leveling up gives you access to a skill tree. These aren't big skill talents that you will have, these are just things to do with finesse. For example, to quote, better flying, and another example was being able to last longer underwater without drowning. But this overacts all of the javelins no matter if you're running out on a Colossus or a Storm. These skill trees and talents will affect all of them. This is your overall encompassing character. The other level has to do with your gear. There is no individual javelin level. For example, you don't have the situation where you have a level 30 Colossus but only a level 2 Interceptor. If your freelancer is level 25, then your Colossus and your Interceptor, your Storm, are all level 25 too. But they may all have different gear levels to do with the weapons, abilities and stuff that you have in gear slots. We'll go over gear in a second. I don't know whether this has much like a power system in Destiny or an eye level in World of Warcraft, but your gear level coincides with your freelancer level. What I mean by that is if you're level 30, you will get level 30 item gear drops. Even if you haven't played Storm since level 8, so it only has level 8 gear, if you do missions on it at level 30, you will get level 30 gear. Does that make sense? So if you're max level, you will get really good gear in comparison to you at level 12. Your javelins are all about capability, finding the right javelin for the job, and also the different weapons, abilities that you can have that would better suit what you're trying to do. You're not locked into a specific javelin. For example, you don't pick, oh, I want to play Storm and level through that up to level 30. You can just pick and choose which javelin you want to use anytime you want. You don't start with all 4 javelins, you unlock them as time goes on. You start with a ranger first, but in an interview, Mac Darrah said you could unlock the Storm class at about level 5 if you were just focused on doing that. So there are a lot of quests and stuff that you need to do to unlock certain javelins. But the main thing is that you have a freelancer level and your gear drops is based on your freelancer level. The higher that is, the better gear you get. But now let's talk about gear. This isn't just your armor or your guns, this also includes your abilities that you use. Ultimates are also technically a gear piece, but they won't be changeable at launch. And the rarity of said gear is very similar to Diablo 3. The item rarity tier from bottom to top goes common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and then ancient/masterwork. I don't think they've decided on a name for it just yet. But this does include rarity on abilities. For example, the mortar that was used in the EA 2018 gameplay was a legendary mortar, and you get this gear from missions and dungeons, obviously. The loot will be instanced, meaning that you won't have people stealing your stuff, only you will be able to grab it, and the items that you get will predominantly drop for the javelin that you're running, but you can get other stuff now and again. It's mostly just focused on that. You will get randomized gear, which you'll have to go back to your Strider and Fort Tarsis to unlock. Kinda like engrams used to work in Destiny, you have to go back and unlock it, but it does tell you the rarity and type of that item. For example, a rare assault rifle. You equip gear at the Forge, which you can find on your Strider or Fort Tarsis, but this is the only place that you can equip gear. You can't do it out in the open, you have to go back to your Strider or Fort Tarsis, those non-combat zones, to change out your gear and your abilities. And these items can also have random rolls of perks/stats. And finally, there will be sets of gear that you can get to, and also set bonuses. So we've gone over quite a lot of little things to do with leveling and gear. essentially covering the topic of what we know so far. The main thing is that leveling works as a freelancer level. You don't get locked into a specific javelin, and the higher freelancer level that you have, the better gear that you will get. It just sort of scales up over time. Again, much like how Destiny works. You will have a skill tree, but it's all quality of life little things, I believe. There's no really big talents that you can get there, I believe. It's all about just making your overall experience, no matter what javelin that you're running, a whole lot better. Anthem is all about the looter shooter aspect, and because of that, the gear is really important. It includes armor, guns, and also abilities. You have big rarities, you have constantly something to chase for, going for the epic, legendary, or ancient rarity gear, but also that might have good perks or good stats on them. You've learned how to equip the gear and where to do it and what exactly you'll be looking for when you're out in the open, so hopefully this answers a lot of your questions to do with that. Next up, I really want to tackle the topic of endgame. What is going to be ready for those players that hit level 30, if that's the level cap, straight away, and what will they be able to do between hour 5 to hour 500? There's some really interesting stuff that I want to go over, but that covers it for this time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe if you want to see more Anthem content. Thanks again for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.